What's up, Pleekers? Welcome back to Swaggin' on Swagger. I'm Jerome.
And I'm Nick.
And today we're talking about Shooter Season 2, Episode 4. Is it Dark Man at the Street again?
I think it's Dark Side of the
Dark
Street.
Side of the Street. Now, I don't want to point any fingers, but this is the second time we're recording this again. Someone hit the record button once again and then didn't continue it after we made like a 20-minute video, but I don't want to point any fingers at who did that.
Why not?
So I think we should just kind of slide past that. I just want to put that out there in the beginning because it may be a short one because we talked about this one probably longer than we've ever talked about Shooter in our lives.
Probably. It's usually the way it works.
And then I guess now, spoilers, I hit the button. But the thing is, we recorded the video. I looked down at this in the middle of the video, and I was like, oh, okay, we've been recording for like 10 minutes. So then 10 minutes later, I hit stop, and... well, was that 0?
I think you imagined that.
I thought I could have sworn I saw the numbers counting up.
Kind of like how you thought there was a ghost in your room.
No, okay. So if we did the show on Pleeka called Sequels that we did one episode of.
Yeah, it didn't work out well.
We bought a spin wheel. It was a good idea, but we have poor execution. It's hard enough for us to get a TV show review out. I don't know why we thought we could do. Well, maybe now we're gonna start Friday the 13th, but
theoretically.
I got the spin wheel. You'd spin the wheel and it'd pick a movie for you. I walked into my room yesterday. The second I opened my door, my spin wheel started spinning. And he doesn't believe me that happened. Why would I make up that my spin wheel started spinning?
I believe it happened. But, I mean, I don't,
What do you think spun it?
Wind.
Where's there wind in my room?
Either your fan or your...
My fan is not strong enough to blow a spin wheel.
Are you strong enough to blow a spin wheel?
Maybe. Depends on who it is. All right, so let's talk about Shooter. I thought this was a great episode of Shooter this week.
It's the best episode so far.
I think so, yeah.
At least this season.
Yeah. The flashbacks were really cool. The Turtle's back in it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which I brought this up in our previous recording. Because they mentioned later on in the episode that, like, oh, he was in, like, a psychiatric hospital or whatever, or because, he was depressed or whatever, shit like that. And then,
Zender is his name,
and then
right?
they said, oh, yeah, and he killed himself. All right, so what about this back? Like, they just kind of slid past it. I think he's more than meets the eye.
So you think Zender, Turtle, is, like, part of the bad guys? Or you think
I don't know what he is. I kind of hope he's part of the bad guys because that'd be pretty cool.
I can't imagine Turtle being a bad guy.
Yeah. But I think he's... because I know that they're showing him more in the flashbacks a little bit, and like I said last time, you didn't catch in the episode, but after the whole thing with the doctor and his finger in the girl's bloody hole, Turtle goes...
You can't say that
or
every
Zender goes, oh, we shouldn't have burned that heroin. And like
I totally missed that.
Like they cut to
somehow.
commercial, and I don't know, he said that. I was like, oh, okay. So they're giving him kind of important stuff because like
you don't think
he
pooping in the nighttime was important?
That was not an important scene.
You didn't even notice.
I didn't know it was Turtle either at the time, or Zender. But yeah, and then they briefly mentioned that he killed himself or whatever. I think it's like
why? I hope you're right.
Why mention that he was even like depressed and that he killed himself and all this stuff when you or like because you could have just not had the character at this point if he's that useless. You could have made it some random person, but you made it a semi-notable actor.
Yeah, semi-notable.
Well, I mean, he's famous for Entourage, and that's really it.
Yeah, I'd call him famous.
But to me, it's just like
he's as famous as the dude that died last week. Probably more famous.
Yeah, well, I didn't say he wasn't famous. I said notable.
Oh, okay.
Because like he's really only known for Entourage.
Yeah.
But so I think there's more to him.
I hope so.
But then if we don't ever see him again in the present day,
then we'll bring this back up and point out that you're a retard.
Maybe they're setting it up. He's going to be the villain of season 3. Was there a depressed character in the books that came back saying, "I'm gonna get you, Swagger. You depressed me"?
No.
Yeah.
I think now you're jumping a little too far. You were going good.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think they're setting him up for something. Maybe he'll save the day. Maybe he'll be part of the bad guys. I don't know. But I think he's more than what they were showing.
Well, like I said, that would be cool. I could see that happening. I hope so.
Yeah, and
I could also just see it just
Just
nothing.
nothing happened
Yeah.
to it either. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. They're
Uh,
like, hey, we gave you a
Which
shot.
is what I was afraid of when he was like they first showed him in the show, and then like he didn't have a single. I guess he did because he was pooping, but he said like one word each episode.
Yeah, he had lines. You just didn't know it was him.
Yeah, but in the second episode, he literally said like one word, and like he wasn't even in the third
Yeah,
episode.
but none of those guys in the flashbacks were really saying anything except for Swagger and Johnson.
Yeah. So then we saw in the next one, and you kind of get the hint of that leading up in this episode. That next episode, we're gonna see Donnie die again. Except we're gonna see the longer version of it, and we'll probably see it from the sniper's point of view, which is Saltov.
Yeah, so after he killed the lady in this episode, the mom.
Yeah.
They did like a slow motion him like checking out everyone's face, like he was like putting it to memory.
Yeah, he's
or
like,
something.
all right, like you said last episode.
It was like he was
I'll kill
checking-
you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
It was like you could almost see him like checking it off.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, okay, yeah.
And I gotta mention,
Which is why he was never going after Swagger, because Swagger wasn't there. Plus, you said,
oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, and like I said this in a previous thing, if Swagger would have been on that mission with him, which is purposely why they left him behind in the show, it would have went down so quick that that guy Saltov wouldn't have had time to cut that lady's throat.
yeah, he wouldn't let.
He would have he would have been smart enough to be like, hey, don't go to that van
Right.
or that truck, whatever. You know, that's not like be smart about this. And two, when the ambush happened, he would have killed every single person because like they all missed. So Turtle's not a good shot.
No.
So like he would have stopped it quickly, and then he probably also would have kept an eye on that girl in the car too.
And he would have believed Donnie when Donnie was like, when he took the doctor's badge, it was like, no, man, I'm going to get, like.
Yeah, because like he said,
Well, it's not that Johnson didn't believe him, he just didn't want to go there.
yeah.
That's the problem with Johnson.
He's a big pussy when it comes to like he's all mouth, and then when it comes to like telling the bosses what happened, he's like, no man, you don't know what goes on up there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, he's in a tough spot, sort of, but. Like,
Would you say he's in a bit of a pickle?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
God.
But like in those that little war scene that they had too, the camera angles were real cool. Like they had a bunch of they had GoPros on the guns,
Yeah.
and then they had really interesting shots that I really liked this episode.
Yeah, like even when they were like coming after Saltov, that was cool.
Yeah, that whole chase scene with all that was cool. And
Yeah.
then it was really gross when Swagger broke his arm or broke his hand. He had to put it in the dresser.
Solotov's hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which me and you watched it, we thought he did that to Swagger. I was kind of like, oh
Yeah.
shit. And then you see him in his car or bike, whatever he got into.
Car.
And then I was like, oh, he broke his hand.
Then he poured vodka on it and stuck it in a cupboard and smashed the
God,
drawer.
yeah, that was bad.
That did not look like fun.
I can't imagine doing that.
No, there's no fucking way.
Like, that's got to be the most painful thing in the world.
I broke my arm once, and I could barely lift it.
I thought I broke my arm once because a fat kid fell on me. I could barely lift it also.
You know, I had to pick you up from school. No one else thought you broke your arm.
That's
Well, maybe
untrue-
your stupid nurse.
The nurse did. I just knew my arm hurt.
I picked you up and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it's not even anything wrong with it. Whatever, come home. Play some video games.
No, we went to the hospital.
We did not go to the hospital.
Yeah, we did. I got an x-ray on my arm, and they're like, yeah, nothing's wrong. Maybe a little bruise on his
Are you
bone.
sure you're not confusing that with your stomach?
No, I did that too. I got x-ray on my stomach too.
Oh, my God.
I didn't shit for a week. Moral of that story. We already talked about that on the podcast. So what else happened this episode that we want to...
Well, Memphis was... She's trying
Memphis' story was actually interesting, and she kind of she figured out that dude in the hotel room.
is Solotov.
Yeah.
Well, she didn't know it was Solotov, but she knew it was somebody, and then they figured out it's Solotov.
Yeah, which, like I said last time we did the show,
Oh, for fuck's sake, here we go.
the next on last week showed that, and Omar Epps, I always call him Mike Epps, Omar Epps
You could just call him Johnson.
Johnson, he goes, oh yeah, that looks like the doctor we had wherever they were fighting.
Yeah, I don't know why that's...
And I talked about that. I was like, oh, it's kind of funny that he just sees a picture and he realizes that doctor and all that, and that didn't happen.
No, I think, you know what, honestly, I thought about that. I think you said, well, they should know that it's him because he was the doctor, and then they got the picture of him, and I said, but they haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about
was.
Well, because before we were having the conversation that once they see the Solotov in present day, they should recognize him from back then because we saw the next on and all that.
Yeah, but
And-
I think my point was they hadn't seen him yet.
My point was that they are from her.
Yeah, but that was at the end of the episode.
No, yeah, the end of this episode. But I was talking about when they see that. I was saying it's kind of funny that the typical show thing where like, oh yeah, then it shows the flashback we just saw and like he's connecting it.
But I mean, like literally, like he killed Donnie, and Swagger knows there was.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay, but do you?
Yeah, because you're saying if they saw him, they wouldn't recognize him because they didn't see him.
Right.
What I was saying is, well, one, they just ran into him at that place, which we saw this episode.
Just the two of them.
But we're not, because we didn't even know what happened this episode because we didn't see that yet.
Yeah.
I was talking about, I was just saying it's funny how they do that typical show thing because they saw him in the past because we saw that in the next on, and then we saw her show him the pictures that looked exactly like the drawing of him in the past. And he recognized him and all that, which he doesn't even look like that really in the present day. So I was just saying that was funny. I wasn't saying that they should recognize him instantly when they see him.
See, I thought you meant they should recognize him.
So what else did you like this episode?
I don't know. I just thought it was really like suspenseful and good. Like, the whole episode. Like like we don't know who the main bad guy is gonna be. I think it'll probably be that guy that Soltoff met at the gas station, or he's working for someone who's the main bad guy or something.
We mentioned this when we did this previously. I think that Soltoff, especially because he's already fought Swagger once and all that, I think he's probably gonna either die or get captured and arrested something pretty soon, like in the next couple episodes, and then the big threat, like the last 3-4 episodes, will be whoever hired him and is trying to get him to kill all these guys, because that's the connection to the heroin, and first the CIA did it and all that.
Yeah, could be like Meacham's boss or something.
We'll probably meet the guy in the flashback after they do all those reports and all that, and then we'll probably meet him around the same time in the present day, and it'll all link.
Yeah,
but I don't see Soltoff being especially because he doesn't seem like that great of a villain to continue on for that long, especially because we've already seen Swagger beat his ass once.
Well, yeah.
It's not like he can kill too many other Swagger's people, so like it would just be them chasing each other for a while.
Like Johnson, I guess, was the only one left, right?
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to do that. Yeah. So it would make sense for him to end pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think he's a good bad guy, though.
Well, I do, too. I just don't see it lasting, 6 more episodes.
No, I don't think it could.
Because that's what I was saying.
Yeah, if it does, it won't be good.
2 or 3, it'd be good because they can track him down and they have a sniper battle or whatever.
Dying next episode.
That could definitely be possible. Let me figure out who the bad guy is or whatever as a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Turtle.
I doubt it's.
I hope it's Turtle, something like that. I really hope he's more involved.
I hope he's more involved too. And see, that's the thing. What if Soltoff finds out the Turtle isn't dead? Then he'd want to kill him.
Yeah.
Which is kind of ironic.
Well, they could go find out, I guess, that Turtle didn't really kill himself and that Soltoff made it look like a suicide, but I don't know how they'd figure that out.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I just feel like they mentioned this so briefly.
For him to be in it, they are going to have to go find that he didn't really commit suicide.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Which, they said...
But if they find out, then Soltoff can find out.
Part of Memphis's information had to do with Turtle. So they could figure it out that way.
Yeah. And then that
reporter from Ballers.
The reporter from Ballers, I liked him in this episode. I don't think he's going to last much longer.
Yeah, I don't either. Is he still on Ballers?
I haven't watched Ballers in a while.
Isn't it on right now?
Yeah, it just started again. I haven't watched it yet.
I just saw they got renewed for a 4th season.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Some
people like it.
I can't stand it. I only watched I didn't even finish the 1st season, I don't think. It's not even because it's football, because it doesn't bother me if it shows about football, because there's more to it. But I don't know. You could all watch anything The Rock is in.
No, it wasn't good. I agree. But then last season, I left it on because I was watching something else. I think I watched Vice Principals, which I also couldn't get into.
Which I heard that's supposed to be really good too from a couple other people.
So then I left it on or something, and then I watched that one. I watched a couple episodes in it, and Ballers actually got good. It actually reminded me of Entourage.
Oh, really?
Where it was it was still good, but then there was some really funny parts where you're just you guys are so stupid. I told you, but they had it wasn't a llama, it was something like that, and the guy was calling it Rihanna and stuff. It was just funny.
Yeah.
Or Riri, whatever. It was funny and but it wasn't worth watching 3 seasons to get there.
I get that.
You know.
So any last things you want to say about Shooter before we end this?
No, I don't think I'm excited for the next episode though.
I am too. This episode was really good. I hope next week's is just as good.
Yeah.
I think the flashbacks for me this season is my favorite part.
I like the
I enjoy the
flashbacks.
present day stuff, but like when it goes to flashbacks, I actually get excited. I'm like, oh, okay, what's gonna happen here? Hold on, let me redo this camera. Yeah, when it goes to the flashbacks, I get real excited.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the flashbacks, and this is just me, it reminds me of like NCIS, Los Angeles, where it's like, I feel like, okay, it's supposed to be the Middle East, but they're like filming it in California.
Oh, really? I'd never even think that.
See, and maybe it's just me. I've never fucking been to Kuwait or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Iraq, but like.
But I doubt USA has the budget to go out there really and film or whatever.
Right, and I even heard it even looks like that, but it's just like that's always I feel like, or like it's like an old episode of MASH where they're like, oh, we're in Korea, like Hollywood signs on the next fucking mountain. I don't know, but
That's gonna bother. Next time we watch that show, now that's totally gonna bother me.
but see, I'm not necessarily right. It's just what goes through my head.
Yeah.
Which
I've never thought that with this show, which I usually do think about stuff like that.
oh really? Oh, I'm sorry.
But so now every episode I'm like, oh yeah, they're totally not wherever they say they are.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll be in some fucking mobile park chasing Solitoff, and you won't matter.
That's true. All right, well that's the end of Swagger on Swagger this week, Pleekers. Hopefully next week when we do this, we'll just film it once and we can put it out Tuesday night like we planned. But
You did hit record, right?
Yep. But nothing ever seems to work out the way I wanted to here on Pleeka.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see you guys next week for another episode of Shooter. We don't know the name of it because we're never prepared. So
I had it right here.
Oh, what?
The Man Called Noon.
The Man Called Noon. So yeah, we'll be back next week for Shooter Season 2, Episode 5, The Man in Noon. Non-noon.
Called Noon.
Called Noon. Whatever. Fuck off.